Hello everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Now, if you're an Indian pharmacy graduate, there's a really good chance you've been dreaming of taking your skills across the globe to practice in the United States. But let's be totally honest for a second. When you look at the requirements from the outside, the road to achieving that goal can feel, well, like you're staring at a complete maze of acronyms. I mean, you're hearing about the FPGEC, the NAPLEX, the MPJE, the TOEFL. It is incredibly overwhelming, but that is exactly why we are here today. In this explainer, we're going to serve as your definitive guide, completely demystifying this bureaucratic maze. We're breaking down the exact path you need to take to achieve a highly paid, incredibly respected career in the American healthcare system.
Okay, let's dive into this. The journey from holding a B Pharm or M Pharm in India to becoming recognized as a licensed PharmD equivalent in the US might seem seriously daunting at first glance. It looks like a massive mountain of paperwork and endless testing, and while it is a lot of work. But here's the reality you need to keep focused on. The demand for qualified pharmacists in the US is rapidly evolving. With the right strategy and a crystal clear understanding of the steps ahead, your Indian degree is absolutely your ticket in. This is a totally achievable process if we just take it one step at a time.
To lower that anxiety and give you a really clear view of the road ahead, we're going to follow an exact, chronological, 5-step roadmap. First, the FPGEC certification. Second, the FPGEE exam. Third, overcoming the language barrier. Fourth, navigating internship hours. And finally, Step 5, the NAPLEX and MPJE final exams. Let's start right at the beginning. Step 1, the FPGEC certification. Before you can even think about touching a prescription in an American pharmacy, you have to actually prove your Indian education is fully equivalent to a US degree. This is done through the FPGEC, which stands for the Foreign Pharmacy Graduate Examination Committee. You can kind of think of this committee as the primary gatekeeper. Getting this specific certification is the absolute crucial gateway to the entire US licensure process. Without it, you literally cannot move forward to any of the other steps. Now, to get this certification, there are some pretty strict educational prerequisites. The most notable one is what we call the 5-year rule. Basically, if you graduated after January 1, 2003, the committee mandates that you must possess a 5-year professional pharmacy degree. For the vast majority of our Indian viewers, this means holding a B Pharm combined with an M Pharm or possessing a full PharmD degree. Once you meet that educational threshold, you'll undergo the Educational Equivalency Assessment, or EEAS. This is where you send your official transcripts and degree documentation directly to the National Association of Boards of Pharmacy, the NABP, for their rigorous evaluation. Moving right along to Step 2, the FPGE exam. Once your documents are cleared, you face the core mechanism used to evaluate foreign graduates. This is a massive 200-question marathon designed to rigorously test your foundational and advanced pharmaceutical knowledge. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly how the exam is broken down. Notice the massive weight placed on clinical sciences at 35%, with pharmaceutical sciences closely following at 33%. Together, these two areas make up more than 2/3 of the entire exam. Then you have social, behavioral, and administrative sciences making up 22%, and biomedical sciences rounding the whole thing out at 10%. Now listen up, because here is a crucial host pro tip to help you succeed. Do not underestimate that social and administrative sciences section. Seriously, so many international students focus entirely on the hard sciences and completely neglect this 22% chunk. But in the US, understanding pharmacy law and the actual business of American healthcare is considered just as critical to your passing grade as knowing your pharmacology. You have to study that administrative side just as hard. All right, Step 3, overcoming the language barrier. Here is the absolute truth about working in American healthcare. Being a brilliant scientist simply isn't enough. You must be an absolutely excellent communicator to ensure patient safety. So to get your FPGEC certificate, the NABP doesn't just want a passing TOEFL IBT grade. They've established highly specific minimums you have to hit. You need a 22 in reading, a 21 in listening, a 26 in speaking, and a 24 in writing. What you really need to take away from this is that these minimums are noticeably stricter than most standard university admissions. So the crucial point is that 26 required in the speaking section. This is notoriously the toughest hurdle for international students. I mean, getting a 26 requires near flawless enunciation, perfect pacing, and a lot of confidence. This single section is going to require intense, dedicated focus and practice on your part just to ensure your spoken English is crystal clear for future patient consultations.
Okay, we're making progress. Step 4, navigating pharmacy internship hours.
Once you pass the TOEFL and finally have that FPGEC certificate in hand, you are officially a foreign pharmacy graduate. But wait, you're not a fully licensed pharmacist yet. You still have to gain mandatory hands-on US clinical experience. I want you to anchor the numbers 1,500 to 2,000 in your mind. That's the typical range of required internship hours. Now you might be wondering, why a range? Well, that's because every single state board sets slightly different rules. The hours you need in Texas will differ from those in California, which differ again from New York. And during these hundreds of hours, you are not going to be working alone. You'll be working directly under the supervision of a licensed U.S. pharmacist, known as your preceptor. This is an incredibly vital relationship. Your preceptor isn't just there to watch you count pills, right? They're there to actively teach you the nuances of American healthcare. Under their guidance, your key learning objectives will include understanding the unique U.S. healthcare culture, navigating the incredibly complex American health insurance systems, and really mastering the art of direct patient counseling.
Let's move to and see how this builds into step 5, the big boss exams.
You've evaluated your documents, conquered the language barrier, and logged your hours. Now you stand before the ultimate summit, 2 distinct final board exams. First up is the NAPLEX, or the North American Pharmacist Licensure Examination. This is the ultimate test of your clinical safety. It heavily focuses on pharmacotherapy, safe medication preparation, and importantly, highly complex math calculations. Seriously, do not slack on your calculations. On the other side is the MPJE, the Multi-State Pharmacy Jurisprudence Examination. This is the strict legal exam. It tests you on federal laws, but more importantly, state-specific laws. Because laws change across borders in the US, if you get licensed in New Jersey and later decide you want to move your career down to Florida, you will very likely have to sit down and pass a brand new MPJE specific to Florida's legal code. Let's bring it all together and review this complete step-by-step roadmap one more time. Step 1. Prove your education with the FPGEC evaluation. Step 2. Pass that 200-question FPGEE exam. Step 3. Clear the strict TOEFL IBT language barrier. Step 4, log your 1,500 to 2,000 clinical internship hours. And finally, Step 5, slay the NAPLEX and MPJ final exams. Look at this list and remember, becoming a pharmacist in the US is a marathon, it is not a sprint. It demands an investment of time, money, and undoubtedly a whole lot of late-night studying. But let me assure you, that marathon is entirely worth the reward. Standing at the heart of patient care, utilizing your hard-earned knowledge in the US healthcare system is just an incredible achievement. So I want to leave you with a question to get you thinking about your future right now. Which U.S. state are you planning to start your journey in? Have you looked up their specific MPJE or internship requirements yet? Keep researching, stay completely focused on this roadmap, and be sure to look out for our upcoming explainer on how to find a U.S. internship sponsor to help you complete those required clinical hours. Thank you so much for joining me on the explainer today, and good luck decoding the maze.